The saying goes like this: if everyone is different, then nobody can be normal. But if everyone is not normal, then everyone is normal. This is the paradox of normality. Have you ever found yourself longing to be normal? Perhaps your interests or perspectives diverge from societal expectations. But what exactly is normal? And is it really as good as it seems? In today's complex world, the concept of normal can be split into two categories: the statistical norm and the societal norm. In statistics, we often refer to the average or mean as a way to understand where individuals fall along a bell curve, known as a normal distribution. This curve shows how the majority of us cluster around the middle, giving rise to what we commonly call normalcy. This type of normal is used in our daily lives and can serve as a reference point for improvement in numerous aspects. For example, we can explore why certain populations have higher average lifespans, or analyze how various public transportation systems achieve efficiency. This provides us with insights in replicating these successes. However, it can also highlight normals that may not align with our best interests. For instance, in America, over 2/3 of the population are overweight or obese, while in Nauru, over half of the population are smokers. Adopting a lifestyle similar to these statistical norms could prove detrimental to our overall health. The other type of normal pertains to societal norms, which covers the unwritten rules determining how we typically act or react to various situations. The act of forming a line at a busy restaurant, for example, helps regulate our behavior in public spaces. Skipping the line in such instances would likely lead to ridicule and negative perceptions from society. On the contrary, imagine a scenario where an injured child lies on the side of the road, and countless passerbys choose not to intervene, adhering to the societal norm of avoiding involvement in others' affairs. In such instances, this perceived normal in action can result in precious time being lost until someone eventually steps forward to offer assistance. Interestingly, those who conform to this norm may face criticism, while those who deviate from it and take action are often praised as heroes for their courage and compassion. Societal norms also vary significantly based on cultural uniqueness. An individual accustomed to greetings with hugs and kisses will feel distinctly out of place in another that prefers bowing and maintaining distance. Desiring to be normal also extends to our immediate social circles, driven by a desire to fit in or be like everyone else. However, everyone is only normal until you get to know them. What we perceive as desirable, normal behavior in others may actually be viewed as not normal by the individuals themselves. In these situations, norms often boil down to our attempts to mimic others. Much like newborns in a flock, we instinctively observe and emulate the actions of those around us, seeking cues on how to act and behave, even if it may not feel like ourselves. Through these interactions, we create an invisible framework, a metaphorical box within which we attempt to fit ourselves in. From how we should look, how we should behave, and even how we should live our lives. At first, we may succeed in conforming to this idealized notion of normalcy, but as time wears on, the facade begins to crack, and the repetitive nature of forcing ourselves into this confined box becomes suffocating. We find ourselves grappling once again with the question of why can't we just be normal? As human beings, it's natural for us to engage in self-reflection and introspection. We often scrutinize ourselves and our actions in search of answers. But perhaps the root of our struggles doesn't lie within ourselves, but rather in the confines of the metaphorical box we're relentlessly trying to squeeze into. In the timeless words often attributed to Albert Einstein, repeating the same behavior and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. If we find ourselves trapped in this relentless cycle, it's time to consider an alternative approach. Perhaps create our own box, or find another box that embraces us for who we are, appreciates our unique differences, and welcomes us with open arms. An often forgotten fact is that it is our differences that safeguard the survival of our species. On a biological level, genetic diversity is what allows for evolution and adaptation. An example of this is the Irish potato famine in the 19th century. During this harrowing period, Ireland's agricultural landscape was dominated by a single variety of potato, the lumper. However, this left it vulnerable to the ravages of disease. When a strain of potato blight swept through the country, the consequences were catastrophic. The uniform susceptibility of the lumper to the blight resulted in widespread crop failure that triggered a devastating famine that claimed the lives of millions and forever altered the course of Irish history. Meanwhile, consider the peppered moth during the Industrial Revolution in England. Initially, the majority of peppered moths had light-colored wings that provided them with effective camouflage against the light-colored bark of trees in their natural habitat. However, as industrialization flourished and pollution darkened the landscape, the once well-camouflaged moths stood out starkly against the now darker trees, leaving them vulnerable to predators. Amidst this environmental change, genetic mutation gave rise to a small minority of peppered moths with darker wings, a trait that proved advantageous in the newly polluted environment. These dark-winged moths were better equipped to evade predators and flourished while their light-winged counterparts dwindled in number. So, while it's common to associate normal positively and abnormal negatively, this binary perception fails to capture the nuanced reality. In truth, many of the traits or characteristics we label as abnormal can actually turn out to be our greatest strengths. Rather than striving to fit into society's narrow definition of normalcy, what if we embraced our uniqueness? What if we dare to be abnormal, but normal to ourselves? And there you have it, my newfound appreciation of why you shouldn't be normal. Do you feel that you are normal? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content just like this, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.